Ladies and gentlemen, this right here is Glenn Scrivener. I've reacted to his videos before. If you guys don't know who Glenn Scrivener is, maybe one of my favorite current apologists right now. I think you'd feel comfortable. He has a great book out that you guys should go check out. We'll link that in the description below. His YouTube channel is fantastic. And I thoroughly enjoyed his debate with Matt Dillahunty on atheism, morality, so on and so forth. And I wanted to highlight one part for you guys that I think oftentimes gets straw man and made to look like this pagan, blood sacrifice, God is so barbaric approach. And Glenn Scrivener dropped something that I think is so imperative to the practicality of what was happening in the Old Testament and how it's a foreshadowing of the New Testament. So if you guys don't know who Matt Dillahunty is, raging atheist, claims to have been a former Christian at some point in time, and this was a really good debate. You should really go watch the whole thing. It's a deep cut from the Premier Unbelievable channel, but check this out.
Now decided that he's going to come down and take human form and sacrifice himself to himself for a weekend to fix everything for everybody.
Does that make sense? You guys heard this before? God comes down and sacrifices himself to himself for a blood sacrifice for a weekend, and this is Christianity. It's preposterous. Ha 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 ha. Sound familiar? Right? This is like TikTok Sky Daddy vibes, right?
That's blood magic. That is sacrificial blood magic thinking, and nothing to do about human value.
Who actually believes that? What you just described as a summary of Christianity? Who actually believes?
How could you not? Wait, did God come down and become human, sacrifice himself?
God the Son became God our brother.
He's still God.
God the Son became God our brother. Right? The Son
Are you a non-Trinitarian? Sorry?
No, precisely because I'm Trinitarian. God the Son became God our brother, full of the Holy Spirit, in order to unite us as family back to the same source.
He starts cooking here. And the hilarious part that he didn't even understand that God the Son becoming God our brother somehow was in contrast with Glenn being a Trinitarian. To me, I feel like if you're gonna argue these things, you have to be able to steel man what the actual Christian position is. Okay, now I'm gonna let Glenn cook some more.
To the Father. That's just basic Trinitarian theology.
Did God not sacrifice himself?
The Father sent the Son.
But they're the same.
They're not the same.
They're part of the Trinity.
Yeah, they are definitely.
They are one, right?
They are definitely part of the Trinity.
This is like a big deal for Matt Dillahunty to fumble, but that's not even the best point of the video. This is such a big deal for him to fumble that he doesn't even understand the Trinity, right? Like I don't understand how you don't understand the Trinity.
One though.
They're united, absolutely. The Father, Son, and
united.
Spirit.
I mean, we're united at a table, but we're not one.
The Father is in the Son, and the Son is in the Father, so that they are united on a level that is far superior to ours. But
why does there need to be a blood sacrifice?
Well, because to walk away from God, to be disconnected from life, means death, right? And in the Bible, the life is in the blood.
Well, who made that rule?
It's the nature of the case, don't you think? If God is life, God is the source of life.
Couldn't God have done it differently?
Well, if God is the source of life, and
listen very closely.
But
why does there need to be a blood sacrifice?
Okay, why does there need to be a blood sacrifice? I think this is a question I've heard before. Listen to how Glenn brings us in.
Yes.
Well, because to walk away from God, to be disconnected from life, means death, right? And in the Bible, the life is in the blood.
Well, who made that rule?
It's the nature of the case, don't you think? If God is life, God is the source of life.
Couldn't God have done it differently?
Well, if God is the source of life, and we reject life, what does that leave us with? Death. If God...
That's so simple and so profound. If you reject life, what are you left with? Death.
God wants to unite with us in our death. What will he have to take on? Our death.
So you're talking, first of all, you're speaking kind of metaphorically here, because I'm not rejecting life. I'm rejecting a proposition that there's some eternal life because I don't see sufficient evidence for it. If there is, cool. But this notion, why does there need to be a blood sacrifice at all? At some point, we were running around killing animals and doing it because God loved the smell of burning flesh. Literally, it says that. Now, while it's, I think I know what part of the objection is. It's like the Easter story when atheists will say, and then the zombies rose up and marched on Jerusalem, and people will be like, "There's nothing in the Bible about zombies."
That's their favorite go-to, by the way. Alex O'Connor brought it up with me. Don't you guys find that funny? Every time you get to a conversation and they get cornered or they start to sound incoherent, they go, "Well, what about the zombies?" Bart Ehrman did it. Alex O'Connor did it with me. Matt Dillahunty's doing it. This is like I don't feel comfortable. What about the zombies? Man, why are there zombies when Jesus resurrects himself? It's like, wait, I don't even know what that has anything to do with this conversation, but it's hilarious. Yeah, slavery and zombies. That's like the go-to. Slavery and zombies. Which, by the way, yeah, if Jesus rose from the dead, I believe other people can rise from the dead. He rose Lazarus from the dead. He rose other people from the dead. There could be people who are in tombs that were made alive. That's what the scriptures seem to say. I don't understand why that's a problem, but let's let Matt try to flesh this out.
But it does talk about the dead getting up out of the graves and going in there. And so it's a colloquialism to refer to it as zombies. I don't think even the atheists, by and large, are thinking that we're talking walking dead here. But it's a shorthand to show that there's something that's potentially absurd here, an extraordinary claim that doesn't have evidence for it. This isn't even that. This isn't even an extraordinary claim that doesn't have evidence for it. This is, to me, bizarre. What is it about killing something that God needs you to do in order for God to forgive you?
Okay. So the claim is the sacrificial system is bizarre to him. It's bizarre to him. That's his claim here. Okay. Now, again, go watch this full debate on Premier Unbelievable. There's a title right on the screen. You guys are super smart. You can figure it out. But that's the claim. Now, Glenn's going to start cooking here in a second.
Because if God is the creator of everything, including the rules of how all this works, couldn't he have come up with rules that don't involve killing things?
Well, I mean, first of all, the priest was many other things, but he was also your butcher, right? You would eat the lamb after you sacrificed it. You would eat the bull.
So you would eat the meat that was sacrificed, and the priest was the butcher. Interesting.
We still go to the butcher. We still sacrifice our animals. And in that sacrifice, even today, in a very secular sense, the death of that animal means our life. In that very literal sense, okay? That animal dies so that we might live. And it's just that in the Old Testament, it was also teaching a spiritual dimension. On top of the barbecues that we all love. You're from Texas, I'm from Australia, we love barbecues, okay?
The vegans are going to hate us.
It was a great conversation with Cosmic Skeptic, by the way. On top of that butchery, there was also a spiritual lesson being taught. And the spiritual lesson being taught was not that the blood of this bull is paying for your sin, but that there is a Messiah who is coming who will pay for your sins.
And that face right there. Well, you made that much more practical and you tied that in, and now it makes more sense. Because on the surface it sounds, it's blood magic. Oh, it's crazy. Oh my God. Why? And he's like, because the priest was the butcher. And because you would eat the meat and there would be a feast, and the meat that died is what caused you to live, and the sacrifice of Jesus causes us to live. Interesting. Oh, so it's not blood magic. So there's something happening in the natural of the animal dying so we can live, and then there's something happening in the spiritual to symbolize the future sacrifice. Oh, that sounds much less blood magic-y, doesn't it?
Because, no, the blood of goats and bulls cannot pay for sin, but God can take responsibility for his handiwork. And God did take responsibility for his handiwork. And it was his death that actually paid for sin. That's the story.
I mean, I wanted to move us on from what is a very interesting theological debate at this point. We may move us back a bit to the central thesis of this whole thing. I mean, we've been asking, can atheism deliver a better world? Talking about this in the context of morality, Matt. First of all, from the outset, what do you say just to that question? We haven't even asked that yet. Can atheism deliver a better world? What's your sort of...
I have no idea. I've never suggested that atheism or even secular humanism guarantees a better world.
So what are we talking about? Debate over. The title is, Can Atheism Deliver a Better World? You don't know. You're the atheist, sir. Debate over. You mock the faith. You mock the moment that's happening to foreshadow the death and the resurrection of Jesus, and then when the actual question of the debate is posed to you, you go, I don't know. Well, sir, perhaps you have an incoherent worldview, and it makes no sense. So I thought that was hilarious. Now, we'll do a part 2 of this. Shout out to Glenn Scrivener. Shout out to Premier Unbelievable. Shout out to Matt Dillahunty for consistently putting himself in situations like this. Smart guy, but goodness gracious. Did Glenn give him the beats on that one? Blood magic. Oh, blood magic. Priest was a butcher. They ate the meat. The animal died so we can live. Jesus died so we can live. Now it starts to make Very sense. So anyway, chat, I appreciate you guys. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. You guys are amazing. Again, Bless God Summit, March 27th, 28th, 29th in Southern California at the Westin. It's an incredible lineup. Preston Perry, Dr. Sean McDowell, Dustin Savella, Lila Rose, Trizzle Fitness, Ryan Horton leading worship, Miles Minnick, Nate Sala, Dallas Jenkins, Pastor Ed Newton, Pastor Chris Brown, Gavin Ortland, and we're announcing more people. So I'm excited. Excited to be with you guys in person. Okay. Yeah, go to blessgodsummit.com. If you can't afford to be there, sign up for a scholarship. If you can't afford to get here and you don't want a scholarship, get the virtual ticket. Hey, thank you so much for checking out the video. Please be sure to comment below and subscribe and all that good stuff. And check out this other video that YouTube seems to be recommending just for you. Let me know if they nailed it. All right, I'll see you over there. Peace.